Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode on the official Hermitcraft Modsauce server. It is that time again, and today I am in hyperactive mood. Sort of. I want to start this one off by saying thank you very much for all of your feedback. A couple of episodes ago, I did ask for everyone just to leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this series. And the reason why is just because I kind of felt like I needed some feedback. The numbers haven't been so great, and sometimes that can be a sign that you're doing things wrong. Now, we're not just playing a game here, you know, I am making videos as well, making entertainment, and that is what I try to do. I try to make fun and entertaining videos for you. It's not just about playing the game straightforward, if that makes any sense at all. But I do appreciate all of your feedback. It was all really positive. There were a few, negative points here and there, but they're all things I agreed with and felt like I wanted to kind of change about the way we play here on the server and make videos, which is all good stuff. So let's not worry about that. Let's get right back into the old stuff we were doing. We were actually playing around with this right here, compressing the cobblestone, and today we're going to revise and probably finalize our design. So I've been experimenting a little bit. If you remember, we tried to use furnaces in the last one. Well, I thought about it. Some of you thought about it as well and left a comment. You have a furnace, and in vanilla Minecraft you take items from, or sorry, you put items in at the top, you take from the bottom, and then on the side you can put in the fuel slot. I think that's how it works. And it works the same way in the mods anyway. I tested it with one of these transfer nodes, but we're not going to be using furnaces because we can't take them out from the bottom. We're going to go ahead and use the droppers because I've been doing a little bit of testing, and you can do this. You can put in what's not a recipe, because if you had 9 sticks in here, it doesn't make anything. So we've kind of made like a natural filter. So now our droppers are going to have a smaller buffer, and that was the reason I was looking for such a small inventory space. So as well as that, DMAC left me a very, very helpful comment explaining how hyper rationing pipes and rationing pipes works. These things are really easy to craft. There is the recipe for one. Here is the recipe for another, and although it says 2 there, you actually get 3 for each of them, which is really cool. So they are a little bit cheaper than it shows there. But what these things do, and I'm hoping I remember this correctly, is they distribute the items. Okay, I can't, there we go. Okay, the server's being a bit laggy today. I've probably got a poor connection. They should distribute the items evenly across the entire pipe. So if we are to put in a rationing pipe, it's going to send a stack into each of these all at the same time. So that means they're all going to get a stack of items, they're all going to craft them into the next step, which is really cool. And then what we have back here is the hyper rationing pipe, which is supposed to do the exact same thing except with single items. So it's going to put one of each type of item into the next inventory space from the pipe all at the same time. So that's going to be more useful further down the line. These bits right here, we're going to be crafting cobblestone very, very fast. So we use the regular rationing pipes, and a stack all goes in at the same time. It crafts it all, goes to the next thing, but then further down the line the process is going to be a little bit slower. So for that one we use the rationing pipes, and then this thing should work. Now I haven't tested it out yet. We're going to do a little test with that as well now that we've figured out that this has worked, and if this works like planned, then it means we can build this thing, and we're going to go for the vertical design. So the plan is to build this thing going downwards. We can put it into a single chunk with a chunk loader, and then we can build a nice fancy room as the entrance around the front here. So I'm going to crack on and do that stuff, and I'll be back with you in a moment. And we are back. Not much progress has been made at all, as you can see over here. I've done a little bit of work, but I've been massively hindered by the server. It is performing really bad today. I mean really bad. And sod's law, it's probably going to be a little better as we're recording, but look at this. The blocks just reappear, and this has been happening over and over again. You see, it's a little bit better now that I'm recording. I knew that would happen, but it has literally been a case of breaking them about 10 times before they actually pop off, and then it takes ages to pick up the items themselves, and because of that, just doing all of this has been really slow. So I've been talking to Sci Guy Ryan, the guy who helps us with myth busting, and he's shown me some tools that the server has. I think one of them is called OPIS, and you can see some of the commands I've typed here. And so we're doing a little bit of lag busting at the moment, and in the mining dimension, apparently there are thousands of silverfish just, I don't know what they're doing, but they're there and they're causing a lot of lag. So we're going to do a little bit of lag busting, go over there and check that out. But I wanted to just explain a little something here with the rationing pipes I didn't quite understand. I thought that they took a stack each at a time and then distributed them evenly through the pipes. What they actually do is look into the inventory of what's in front of it, and if there's a stack of items they don't put any more in. So that's the way a rationing pipe works, and then a hyper rationing pipe will do that with one item rather than a stack. And that's as far as we got down here. This is our first set of hyper rationing, and I think that's at the sextuple or the quintuple compressed cobblestone. You can see these haven't got any in the moment because it's not all up and running. There you go. So it's quadruple in this one and quintuple in that one right there. So anyway, we're going to head over to the mining dimension and check out these silverfish. It could get a bit laggy over there, so hopefully I'll be able to record, but I wouldn't be surprised if it brought my computer to my knees, its knees even. And I'm also running Minecraft and doing some AFK farming at the gold farm on vanilla as well, so it might be a little bit tricky. Anyway, let's go through and have a look. And I think we found our problem down here. This would be it. My frames are dropping to about 20. We have a ridiculous amount of silverfish everywhere. Look at this. It's absolutely crazy. They're all swimming up in the water. Well, I don't know how this has happened. This is some strange stuff right here. I really don't know. It could be anything in the mods. And they're all dropping XP as well. If we could find the source of where these silverfish were coming from, we could possibly exploit it and make some sort of farm. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to clean up the lag. And this is causing a lot of it. So I don't have my bucket on me at the moment, but I should have one in my tool bag. We'll use some lava to kill these guys, and then hopefully that'll be the end of the lag. So I will I'll kill these guys and we'll find out when we go back to the overworld. Things are a lot smoother now that we've killed all of those silverfish. And by the way, I uninstalled Optifine and my frames are so much better without it, which is interesting. But there you go. So this machine has been finished as well. We have ourselves some octuple compressed cobblestone that actually took a long time to make, but from now on this thing is able to run and just make this over time, which is really cool. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is get our cobblestone generators going fast enough that this thing right here can't keep up, because then that is our system running at max. Because at the top here we have all of these speed upgrades, which means it's going to run as fast as possible for one of these. I mean, you could possibly make, you know, more of the first step, which is the cobblestone to compress cobblestone, and that would technically speed it up, but we're just going to stick to this right here. So what I want to do is generate enough cobblestone that this ender chest starts to back up, and then that means that this system right here, which is the fastest we can make it, can technically not keep up, and then this means the rest of the system can run as fast as possible. Now getting this thing to run at that speed that backs up is going to be a little difficult. I am running out of lapis and iron, and I've been speaking to Saigo Ryan, and he says that you shouldn't put in more than 64 of these world interaction upgrades. If you put in any more, it's not going to make a difference, because every time it runs an operation, it will do each one of these. So 64 means a stack of items. So if we have 64 plus 8 or plus another stack, then it's not going to do anything else, because this can only hold 64 items, which is really good to know. And it may mean that we need some more cobblestone generators. So I'm probably going to hold off from building the most of this room, because if we do want to have more, we'll probably build them on the other side over here. So I might move on to something else. I might like build a little bit of the room under here. I'm really not sure at this point. This has been a bit of a crazy project, but it is now going to run around the clock. So whatever we do, we will be making octuple compressed cobblestone, which means we can make bedrockium ingots, which is really cool. And if I remember correctly, each one of these is 9 bedrockium ingots, so we've already got quite a lot of those. So I've been a little bit uninspired, maybe a bit bored. At the moment we need to do quite a few things to get ourselves up to speed. We've learned a lot of things recently about the assembly table, the smeltery, enchanting, the QED, and all of these things need their own rooms. They need their own compartments in our base, and I've just been feeling like I don't want to do that stuff right now, because I want to keep learning about all these interesting things in the mods. But I decided that we'd do a little bit of work on the base here, try and tie things together a little bit more, because it's not looking quite as lived in and as I would like it to. So if we go through here, you'll see the changes that I've made. Been wanting to do this for a while, finally got around to doing a little bit of this. So this is like a I'm not sure what you call it, like a service area between each of the rooms, and this is what I had in mind, a kind of walkway like this, which I've now built, which is really cool, and it leads around to the other side, which I think might be a little bit useless actually. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing, because the idea of having the opening over here is so we can fly off and go, oh yeah, we need to go down here and look at this thing or look at that thing, which hopefully wouldn't happen as much once we get all of these rooms set up. I tend to fly more, I guess, over in this area to get around to the smeltery, so once that has its own room we'll be able to do that. And when setting things up, like this thing over here, I fly outside a lot. So as these things get built and our base becomes more functional, this will kind of serve as an aesthetic thing that we'll occasionally use. We'll come out here and, oh, I can't walk out of there, there we go, and fly around. Now, if you've been observant, you may have noticed something really cool in my inventory, if you know what it is, that is. The ghost block. I was originally going to use this. Let me show you how this thing works. Let's plop it down on top of this one. It's going to take the form of a block that's next to it, and we put one like that, then it's going to do the same thing again. So this is useful because you can walk straight through it, which is really awesome if you wanted to have, you know, a bunch of secret stuff going on. And look at the mini-map in the top right. When I walk into it, it changes. It's ever so cool. Interesting how it does that. I don't know why, but there you go. And when you break this thing, it's really slow to break, and you have to break it twice because the texture comes off. It just occurred to me that maybe you can apply a texture to it. Oh, no, okay, I clicked on it and it broke. Let's try that again quickly. Maybe you have to click a little sooner. Click. No, okay, you can't do that, so it pops itself off a moment later. Interesting. So that is the ghost block. To craft this thing, you need either wool or rotted flesh and this stuff right here, camouflage paste. Now, if you're thinking of making this yourself, you need some dirt or sand in the middle, and you can see you need a whole bunch of dyes around the outside. You can actually use all of one type of dye. So what I used was bone meal. I was looking through my supplies and I had plenty of that. So there's a little tip for you if you wanted to use this. So I came over here with that intention first of all, and as I started to pick these materials out, you know, I wanted a kind of industrial, you know, behind the scenes area, something that looked like it would be worked in. And as I put that together, the glass became useful, and then the ghost blocks kind of outrun their function as I realized it's going to be much nicer just to keep this open because you can see through the glass. And it doesn't work, this texture with the glass, that well. You can see, we see the sides that we're looking at and not the other side. But if we add the ghost block, then it displays all sides. It did that a moment ago. You can see it displays the bottom side there. So I guess it probably doesn't connect is what it's doing. And that made it look a bit odd. And I decided not to do that. So I like this. I'm going to build a little bit more. How much more I don't know because it is quite tedious to build. And by the way, if you want to know how to use these bits right here, I had a little bit of trouble making this at first because I did something without realizing it. I was holding down shift while I was building. So you put these in the corners like that to make the rail, and then you're thinking, okay, so we want to put the next one going across here. If you click on the corner, it's going to make it bigger, which is, I guess, kind of useful. It looks like you can do that again as well. Interesting. How fat can you make this thing? Well, that's good. Good to know. And if you hold down shift and click in the same place, you'll see the ghost image there changes to the bar going across. So that is how you do that, in case you're trying to do the same thing. But I'm going to do a little bit more building here. I'm probably going to finish up the bit that goes around this bit, and I'm hoping to find something where we can do something a little bit different as well. I'm not sure exactly what, but maybe like a walkway that goes down or goes up to a different level. But at the moment, actually, our only open levels are these four around here, right? This is the only place we need them. If we go down below, this area at the back here is all open because we haven't finished up all of this area. So maybe that's another thing I could do, is close off these ends, or I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy playing at the moment. I guess maybe I'm not in the best mood for doing stuff, but building this has been pretty fun. So I'm going to crack on with it, and I'll be back with you later on. Our little expansion around the outside here has been finished. Got to say, I really enjoyed putting this together. So let's have a quick walk around. Made some subtle little changes here with some factory blocks, and also I accidentally placed one of these over on the side and it connected across like that, and I liked it. It kind of looks like it's holding it up, which is something that is needed. So that goes around the sides like that, and then over on this side I've been playing around with the idea of perhaps having a door here that's controlled by a drawbridge. As you can see, we've got one right there. So when we press the button, obviously I'd hide the redstone wire. We could have an open-close system like that, which is something I think might work. I think it looks a little better than having it open, to be honest, so I'll probably think about what materials that we're going to use here and then be able to do that, because when it's closed it does look a little bit better. I feel like there's too much space and emptiness going on out here, so when it's closed like that it doesn't feel quite as empty. But anyway, let's go down the bottom here. I think I've done one other thing, maybe two other things, I can't remember, but over here that does look a little bit odd, doesn't it? If we go over like that, you'll see it's actually a ghost block that I put over here. That's so we can whiz in and out of the corner like I've actually been doing a lot. And we couldn't do it with this block because they don't connect up like this. But there you go, good use of the ghost block. I'll probably put a few more of those around the place, but you can see it creates a kind of lighting glitch, which isn't so great. But I thought there was one other thing that I did, but I've forgotten what it is right now. And anyway, I know what I'm going to be doing next, so I've got to do a little bit of building over on this side, and I will be back with you soon. It looks like I've forgotten to do this bit right here. Okay, well, I guess we've got a bit more to do then. Are you excited? Well, you should be excited because I have found something absolutely awesome Oh, I found my inspiration again. So, I was thinking about the smeltery that we have over here. I've taken it down now. You can see I've got loads of the stuff in my inventory. I was thinking about rebuilding it and how I can make it better, and I've got tons of fantastic ideas I cannot wait to start working on. However, I was talking to Sci Guy Ryan. We were going over some of the things you can do with the smeltery. We've got some fantastic ideas to implement, and then he told me about something that I think is absolutely amazing. And I've just finished crafting this. I will show you the recipe in a moment. We're going to go up here into this hallway. I don't know why I'm coming into this hallway, but this is where I feel like doing this. And we're going to check out slime channels. Now, this might be one of the coolest things I think I've seen in the mod pack so far. So, the way this works is it's like water, but unlike water, it's not going to spread out and go everywhere. So it's going to have the same properties where it pushes us along, except it's going to stay contained and it's not going to run out. So we can make it go for as long as we like. So if we place it down, I think when we're facing in this direction, it's going to go the direction that we're facing. If we hold down shift, it will come towards us. So I'm not holding down shift. And look at that, it's flowing in that direction. So if we stand here, works just like water. And here's where things get cool. So if we place it on the next block, look at that, we've got 2 in a row, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have succeeded water. That is absolutely amazing. And it makes that squidgy sound when you place it down. That is really cool. So what happens if we're at an angle like this? Can we go around a corner? We can! Oh, this is something right here. Look at that, okay. This isn't... Oh, okay, so we can right click and change the direction there. Oh, the things you can do with this. The things you can do with this. I was just talking to Ryan about this. This is the kind of stuff I love because this opens up opportunities to use this in contraptions. You know, this can help control mobs, etc. Whereas the things I don't really like in the mod pack are stuff like those overpowered mob spawners that just do everything for you. They take all of the work out of it. And what I'd like to do is use something like this in a mob farm now, because wherever you use water in mob farms before, it's always been limiting, and then something like this just brings a world of possibility. You know, not just for this, there's so many more things you could do if you think about water differently and think that you can manipulate it in any way you like. And I think that was making my my slime channels disappear when I was right-clicking on them to change direction. So it was like it used one up. Do I get all of them back? How do we break these? Look at that, they're just a block. That's so cool. Are we going to get all of them back, though? That's what I'm curious to know. I think I crafted 16. And no, so you lose some if you right-click on them and change direction. We have learnt something right there. So the recipe is this right here. Just need some slime balls. You can use 4 green ones. That's what I used. And a little bit of redstone. That's a nice recipe right there. It doesn't come in different colours, though. Not complaining about that because it's absolutely awesome. But that is really, really cool. And yeah, I just wanted to check that out with you on camera there. That was a lot of fun. So I've had a little bit of an uninspired day, or more to say a slow day. It's taken me a while to get my head into the mod source gear, and now I've got tons of ideas that I want to implement and not a lot of time, which is unfortunate. So for the end of this episode, I think what we're going to do is a little bit more construction. I'll talk about it in a moment, but I'll show you what I've done with the smeltery so far. So there is nothing impressive you're about to see. We're just going to talk about the logistics of the room. So this is it right here. I've kind of outlined the shape of the room. It's actually quite narrow now that I walk through it like this, but that is okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine like that. Now that I've said it, I'm probably going to move it all back by 1. But if I do that, I'll do it off camera, so don't worry about that. This is going to be the smeltery control on this side over here. Originally, I was going to put it at the back of the room, but then I thought you don't want to walk all the way down here just to use it. You want to have it nearby. So having it here is pretty cool. And it also kind of fills up this space in the middle, and I think it will make for some really cool ramps for these things right here. So these are going to get extended over to that bit right there, and then it goes past the smeltery, which looks pretty cool. Kind of makes this space feel a little more relevant. So let's talk about the front panel right here. I've tried to create something symmetrical. We've got like a block border here, if you have a look where the torches are at the bottom, that goes up. And if you... Oh, that's empty now. That's great. That's why there's an extra block there. It goes around the top as well. So we're keeping this thing nice and aesthetic. And then we've got 3 strips that take up the middle. So on this side, we're going to have an ender chest as the input. That's going to be a part of our storage system down there. So whenever we need to smelt something, we can chuck it into the ender chest. It will come through here. Now it's going to go into a deep storage unit so it can take tons and tons of one material at a time out of the ender chest, which I think is a pretty smart way of doing it. And then it goes into the smeltery. The reason that I've used a transfer node is because a hopper is the full size of a block, so you won't be able to right click on the control bit right there and have a look. And then similar thing over on this side, we need to put our little frequency thing in over here, our ender receiver. That's going to keep this tank full up, and it's not particularly a big tank. Maybe we'll replace that with a bedrockium drum or something at some point, but then it feeds down here into the seared tank. So that's going to be the control panel. You can see I've got things to do, you know, craft more bricks, get the materials together, and we're going to build a whole bunch of other stuff on these parts as well, and that's going to take me some time. So I thought what I'd do with the time that I do have to play is work on these walkways a little bit more, and then we'll do all of this in the next episode and probably some other things as well. So what I want to do is actually just extend this walkway across that direction, so it's going to go all the way over here alongside this wall and over to this bit as well, and just sort these two bits out as well, just get a little bit more done here while we've got the time. And this one over here is not going to have a walkway because it's all closed off, and then this is another room we've got to do another time. By the way, this thing has been working, but I forgot to put something in one of these transfer nodes. It was one of these, and so it all got backed up, which was unfortunate, and it stopped it crafting a lot. But we now have 7 of these. Yes, just 7. That is a ridiculous amount of cobblestone if you think about it, but it does take its time to make, and it's going to run around the clock now because we got a chunk load up the top there keeping this thing running around the clock, which is great. And I just realized something. Let's go over to the side here. Oh, look at that, it's just inside the same chunk on that one. Let's go this way, and it's plenty inside. Actually no, pretty close again on this one as well. In fact, there is a button we can press, F9. This kind of shows you the chunks. I haven't played around with this too much, it's pretty crazy. There you go, so all of that is inside the same chunk, which is excellent. And if we build another one on the other side, it looks like it will fit in as well, which works out really, really cool. Anyway, I'm doing that thing where I ramble on and on about stuff in the mods. It's so easy to talk about. I don't know what this even is. Anyway, I'll do that little walkway and then we'll be wrapping things up. So this was a fantastic idea to do these walkways. I think they're great and they're making me look at the game a little bit different. These micro blocks are just absolutely lovely for building, and although we've used it to build a simple little walkway, we can just add so much more detail with these, and it's going to take me a while to think about how we can use them. But one thing I noticed here is that on this side the texture is different from that one, which is good. I like the way it breaks it up. However, these ones right here, not quite the same, are they? And I'm not sure if I've got enough of these to combine them back into a full block. You can do that, by the way, like I'm doing right now. I don't think... Oh yeah, we've got enough for one block. That's lucky. Okay, so if we bring out this thing right here, there are some similar textures, like these ones right here. The edges of the blocks are what you're going to be looking at. So that one, why don't we try that one quickly? If we break this down, then we can have a quick look just for the sake of demonstrating what I'm talking about here. So you can break it up a little bit and use some other textures, although I don't know if this is going to work. This one might be too much of a contrast. That's actually not too bad, really. I might throw in the odd one of those every now and then it just breaks up the texture a little bit and gives you something a little bit different. That is really nice, actually. We could also use these on the bits down below. Let's move around a little bit so it's not going to happen too often. Let's put it on that one. Yeah, that kind of works as well. I like that, that's cool. And there's obviously more textures that we could work with there, but that just helps breaks it up a little bit. It might be a little bit too strong, the purple, but as long as we don't use it too often, then it's going to be good. And I like that, that really makes a difference. Oh yeah, here this one hugs the wall and I put a frame over the top. I really like that as well. There is just so much cool stuff in this mod pack, but that is going to be it for this episode. Like I explained earlier, we're going to be working on the smeltery in the next episode. I've got to move this and then work on the rooms, so all of that will come now in the next one, just because I've really run out of time. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, it will always be appreciated. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.